St James's Park, because Newcastle got the 2-1 win over Manchester United, but Newcastle head coach Eddie Howe thought it was a poor decision by the referee Peter Banks to send Jacob Ramsey off for diving after he was shown a second yellow. Dermot, I'll come to you first. What did you make of this decision?
I'd back the referee, and I'd back the referee because of this angle. If you look at this, does he have to do that? Is he caught? No. Does he go down looking for a penalty? Well, he goes down so far after the so-called incident's happened, I don't think he needs to. So I don't think there's any need to do that. And I would also suggest that if he hadn't have got a yellow card for that, people would be screaming and saying, look, we don't want diving, we don't want this, trying to deceive the referee. So Peter Banks, I think, has taken positive action, so back him. Don't put him in position, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Jay, what did you make of it? Because on Soccer Special last night, the panel were fairly incensed and didn't think it was a yellow card situation or a second yellow.
I mean, if you're diving, that's the rules, right? If you
is it a dive though?
Yeah, I do think when you see Jacob Ramsey, he goes through there and he kind of starts clutching at his leg like he's been kicked, and he hasn't been touched. So that's the reason why I look at that and I say he's looking for a penalty. It is a dive. I mean, it's not as dramatic as we've seen in the past, but there's definitely, look, when you look here, look, he goes down grabbing his ankle. So he's looking for a penalty, which would then negate it to be a dive.
Wow, you guys are in agreement for once. A miracle. Right, a lot of Manchester United fans have got in touch about this next incident because they want to know why Peter Banks didn't show Joe Linton a second yellow card after he sarcastically clapped the referee after being booked for a foul on Mateus Cunha. Is it simple that he didn't see it?
I think it's very interesting. He gets really lucky, Joe Linton, and he gets a yellow card. If you look at Peter Banks, he yellow cards him to his face and turns back to go back to the scene of the crime, if you like. He doesn't see this, it's behind his back. The VAR can't get involved because it's a second yellow card.
Tonali's like, stop that.
And you know what, like, I mean, I give credit where credit's due. Joe Linton, he hasn't clapped like that where the linesman can't see. The referee definitely can't see. He's put his hands up in the air like that and he's clapping. Why isn't his officials, even the fourth official, why hasn't he seen that? Why hasn't he communicated? Why hasn't the linesman said something? Everyone on the pitch can see that he's clapped and he's clapping sarcastically at the referee's decision. He should have got a second yellow there and got sent off. Simple as that. Oh. We see that earlier. I mean, it's different because the referee could see Paquetá when he was doing it, but there's a team of officials there. They work together in unison. I don't understand why no other official has seen that.
Okay, well, Newcastle were awarded a penalty after Anthony Gordon was brought down by Bruno Fernandes. Any issues with this one, or is it a clear-cut penalty any day of the week?
Just a tackle he didn't have to make. If you watch it, it comes across. He doesn't have to make this because his colleagues there to back him up, but there, takes him across there.
Yeah.
Just unnecessary, but a penalty.
Again.
There. Good spot by the referee.
Great play as well by Gordon. He knows Bruno Fernandes is there. He knows he's quicker than them. He's gone to go down the line and he's put it back inside and then cut across. You know, as players, you know, it's terms like as soon as you get one-on-one with a player, if you can get your body across that defender, you're making him make a decision. And in that scenario, he got himself in a bad position, Bruno Fernandes did, but it's definitely a penalty and great play from Anthony Gordon.
Okay, let's go to Villa Park now. And this was an absolutely bizarre incident for the referee, Jared Gillett, to deal with. Aston Villa not happy at all that he allowed Chelsea to delay kick-off for the second half because they were huddled around the ball in the centre circle looking to have a bit of a team chat. Dermot, they also did this pre-match on Sunday in the Arsenal game, but that was before the game actually kicked off. So what are the rules around this? Could Chelsea be punished? Is it time wasting? Is it anything by the book of the law?
Well, it's quite bizarre, Hannah, because the rule is whistle to whistle 15 minutes. There's a slight buffer for the delay for whatever reason, but this was delayed over 2 minutes because of this. And you just go, why? Where has this suddenly come from? Where has this tactic come from? And that was at the kick-off on Sunday.
Yeah.
This one was the second half. It was Aston Villa's kick-off. You can see how frustrated they are. They want to kick off, they want to get the game underway. So I just don't know why it happened.
I remember being in a situation before when I was at Cardiff when we actually come out for kick-off late and we stopped, obviously, the time of kick-off. I don't know, if it was 7:45 kick-off, we might have kicked off at like 7:50 because a few players were late coming out onto the pitch. The club got fined for that. Would that be a similar scenario here? Because they've stopped kick-off being
it'll be reported that they've delayed the kickoff, and you know whatever happens will happen, but it won't go unnoticed. It won't go unchecked.
Yeah.
What is the deterrent and sanctions for delaying kickoff, either before the game even starts?
Cardiff got fined, Vicky.
Yeah.
Cardiff got fined. We got fined for that, and then the manager said to us, "Listen, you better get out because the club can't get fined." You know, you can't really fine every single player, but I mean, I don't understand that, to be honest.
There is a very, very tight check on how long it takes between whistle to whistle, and without doubt Chelsea will be the team that will be at fault. You know, they'll be the team when the Premier League says, why was this delayed for so long? The match manager will say, well, because Chelsea wouldn't allow Aston Villa to kick off.
Well, it's interesting as well, isn't it, with this wider debate about time wasting, because that's essentially what it is. Even if it's not affecting the time of ball in play action, it is still wasting the overall time.
Well, it's time delaying, isn't it? It's not wasting time because there's no time being wasted. But it is irritating, isn't it? Because Aston Villa are ready to go, you know, they're all geared up to go. And suddenly, through no fault of their own, they can't even get near the ball.
Yeah, interesting one. We've got a couple more incidences from this game. Ollie Watkins had a goal disallowed just before half-time. A good VAR intervention here?
And I would suggest as well, without VAR, goal would have been given because it's so tight, the assistant would never be able to decide is he on or off, so he would just keep his flag down.
How long did that take?
It's pretty quick, actually.
Yeah.
I think all the VARs over the last 2 days were very, very slow.
Yeah, I look at that and I say, I mean, it looks tight, but I mean, that's the first time I've seen this, by the way. But looking at that as it happened, that looked offside to me. That's just with my naked eye, without a pause. But I'm glad that was a very quick decision, because them kind of decisions there, you can see. Some of them are millimetres. They're the ones that are really, really difficult, especially when there's other players there. But that one, I think that was clear to see.
Before that, Chelsea wanted a penalty when Reece James was brought down by Ian Maatson. Did they have a case when you take a closer look at this? Nothing was given.
I actually think Reece James puts his foot into Maatson. Also, I would say, if you look, his ankle slips. If you look here, his ankle slips, and then he goes into Maatson. So I think it's a case of him going into Maatson himself. And in fairness, he gets straight up. He just looks as much to go, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's a penalty.
You always do, Joe.
I think that's a penalty, because where he's touched the ball is back that way. So when you look at where he's run, his initial reaction would be to put his feet down, plant it, and then push off with his left foot. And that's what he's done, and he's been impeded. So I would look at that and I would say that is a penalty.
Okay, Brighton head coach Fabian Herzler, he was absolutely scathing about Arsenal's tactics and what he saw as persistent time wasting. Have a listen to this.
I loved the effort from my boys. I loved how they play football. I think there was only one team who tried to play football today, and therefore I'm proud how they did it. Did you see in a Premier League game a goalkeeper going down 3 times? No. We can't control these kind of things. I think therefore the Premier League has to find a rule. If the referee allow everything, then it's difficult. Then they make their own rules. So at the moment I have the feeling they are doing their own rules. I will never be that kind of manager who tries to win in that way. Everyone here in the room, did he really enjoy this football game? I'm sure maybe one raises his arm because he's a big Arsenal fan. But beside that, no chance. Where will this go in the future? That's my question. Where will this go? Like at one point, one game we play 60-minute netto time, and then when you play against Arsenal only 50 minutes, then it's 10 minutes different. So is this for what the supporters are paying for? You get.
Chris Kavanagh was the referee in charge at the Amex. From a refereeing perspective, Dermot, are any laws being breached here? For context, well, David Raya went down 3 times during this game. We've already kind of touched on this, really, but what rules can be changed to prevent this from happening?
I really don't know, Hannah, because I think the goalkeeper's exempt from many things that happen. Like Jay said earlier, if it's a fullback has to go off for a minute, goalkeeper doesn't. So the referee, really, I use the word hamstrung, because what can he do? If Raya says my shoulder's bad, you know, the referee's not a doctor, he's not a physio. Yeah. Is he going to ever be brave enough to say, get up, I'm telling you you're all right? Because God forbid he isn't. There's going to be absolute massive problems.
And like we say, we saw this in the Leeds-Sunderland game. We also saw it, well, Daniel Farke was also unhappy earlier on in the season with Donnarumma, the Manchester City goalkeeper. When we look at solutions, yes, it's very hard to legislate against people saying they're injured or not injured, Jay. Are there other solutions beyond that? We've discussed before, haven't we, in terms of like the clock and timekeeping. Is it a case that we need to stop the clock?
I mean, that's what I was just, me and Derms always talk about this and other people as well. I think it's getting to a point now, you've got to get one of them NBA clocks. And every time it stops, you stop the clock. Every single time it goes out of play, you stop it.
It's like we have in rugby union.
Exactly, yeah, you just do that because otherwise, like Hertzler said there, what is it, when we spoke about this off air, when the ball's in play for like, what is it, 60 minutes? Like it's a 90-minute game, but the ball's in play for 60 minutes. Like, I mean, you want to see a flowing game of football. And if there's all these stoppages and time wasting, stop starts, it's like, yeah, it's just not enjoyable. So yeah, I want to see. I'd love to see an NBA clock because then it will stop teams wasting time.
But don't forget, Jay, that won't be the perfect solution because one of the things about the stoppage is to break up the flow of play, isn't it?
Yeah.
To get secondary information. You see, the first thing that happens, all the outfield players go to the side. So you've got this break-up in play. You know, you've stopped momentum. You've also got secondary information coming on. So I get it about the time, I get that, but it's not a perfect solution.
And then you're in the realm of...
Do you think it's a better solution though?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I've said that for years.
Just got to walk that line for you in the realm of actual timeouts, which, you know, in American sports we love, but in British sports not so much. It's an interesting one, isn't it? We've got one more for this game. Brighton fans want to know, and you're going to tell us, Dermot, why they weren't awarded a penalty after Gabriel Martinelli pulled down Mats Wiefer. VAR backed Chris Kavanagh with the decision. Talk us through this one. What do you think, Dermot?
For me, this is my opinion, Hannah. If you grab a person like this, and we talk about sustained holding, if you count his steps, he's held him for 10 steps. He starts 5 steps outside the penalty area, 5 steps inside the penalty area. When he comes inside the penalty area, he's never once facing the ball. If holding a player for 10 steps isn't sustained holding, I don't know. And
the ball is going directly where he is running. So if he wasn't being held, he would have been able to get a run and jump on that player and probably attack the ball, maybe even get his head on it. But again, I go back to, I mean, we said it from the beginning when I started here, the terminology that VAR uses, it doesn't explain nothing. If anything, it causes them more problems because when you talk about sustained holding, you said there, 10 yards. If that's not sustained holding, I don't know what is. Like when you see it, he's holding him all the way from outside the box. Look at this. And he's stopping him from getting to the ball. The ball is going where he's actually trying to run to. I don't understand what sustained holding is. If it's not, I mean, it must be more than 10 yards, sustained holding. It must be, going by that.
OK. Don't go. But let's go to the Etihad now, where Bernardo Silva felt that Manchester City were denied a clear penalty in their draw with Nottingham Forest. Erling Haaland went down under a challenge from Forest keeper Matt Sells, and Silva said that he thought this was a penalty after the game. Let's take another look at it there. What do you think, Dermot?
I was a forward. If I push the ball past the keeper like that and the keeper hits me and doesn't get the ball, I would expect a penalty because the forwards push the ball away, keeper hasn't got it. He's gone to ground, he's got to get the ball in, he doesn't.
I mean, that's 100% a penalty. I'm not understanding why they haven't given that. Like Dermot said there, he's not the ball around the keeper. I think the keeper even knows. When you look at the keeper's face, he's like, kind of thing, he knows. I think Haaland is even thinking, I'm definitely getting a penalty here. He's come out, he's taken me out. I don't understand what they've seen. Look at this one here as well. Like you can see, he's clearly hit Haaland. And he's got up as if to say, like, he hasn't even got up and said, I didn't touch him. He knows.
So why has VAR not intervened if to both of you that's a clear and obvious error? Not been awarded?
Sorry, and just there, when you see that last one, you see him holding his head. Like, if his head hits Haaland, he's still taking him out. So he's hit him, he's touched him. It should be a penalty. Sorry, Dums.
I think their view is probably that Haaland's dragged his foot into him, but I don't see it like that. That's my opinion. I don't see it.
So why didn't he get booked for diving then?
You have to ask the VAR.
Yeah, I mean...
It's almost like this is why we have
I got you there, didn't I?
So Silva clearly frustrated after that. He claimed that all the 50-50s this season have gone against City, and he said that that's the reality. Could he face punishment for those comments? Because he was charged for acting in an improper manner after making some comments last month that kind of question the integrity of a match official?
I mean, yes, he probably will be, but I'm not going to say he's got a point, but that last challenge that I've seen there with Elliot Anderson, I think if that challenge happens in the middle of the pitch, Rodri will get a free kick. So, bearing that in mind, that should have been a penalty.
Let's take another quick look at this one, actually, because this was another of those City claims. This was late in stoppage time, actually. Rodri got his shot off. He was caught by Elliot Anderson.
Yeah.
So, Jay, for you...
Yeah, I look at that and I say to myself, if that happens in the middle of the pitch, that is a foul. So I don't understand why that same threshold isn't applied in the penalty area.
You might want to hang on to that thought.
I will. I think I've been pretty consistent with it because it happened with Foden, I said it was a penalty.
No.
Happened with Isak, I said it was a penalty. This is a similar thing. If he really hits him with his studs there, you'd be saying it's a red card as well.
Two things, he didn't hit him with his studs, did he?
Did he catch him?
Did he hit him with studs?
No, he didn't. Did he catch him?
And I actually think it's a foul by the City player because I think he catches him.
How can it be a foul by the City player when Rodri's having a shot?
Well, he boots him, doesn't he?
Yeah, but Rodri's having a shot. It's his follow-through. What's he meant to do with his foot? Like, kick his foot and bring his foot back?
Right, you see there, who fouls who?
Elliot Anderson fouls Rodri.
That's why I'm a referee and you're not.
What do you mean? That's why I'm a player and you're not. If I'm kicking the ball through, you said you use a forward. If you're kicking the ball, how can you stop? How can you stop yourself going forward? It's a motion.
What do the rules say on this? Because it does kind of look like it's the nature of play, right? They're both coming together here.
Exactly.
So what does the rule say here? That it's...
For me, it's not a foul.
Is that given as a foul? In today's day and age terms,
Yeah.
Is that given a foul in the middle of the pitch if a player does that?
I don't think it's a foul.
Is that going to be given in today's game in the middle of the pitch?
How many times are you going to ask me? I don't think it's a foul.
I don't know how that's not a foul. Like again, I'm going to repeat myself. Sorry, I have to. If Rodri is kicking through, you can't expect him to shoot the ball and bring his leg back without feeling contact. That is a motion.
And you can't expect Anderson to do the same.
No, but he's blocking the ball. He's not shooting. He's not even trying to kick the ball.
Blocking the ball.
Yeah, he's trying to block the ball and he hasn't. And he's gone through. He's hit him. Okay, was Isak's? Is that a penalty?
No, hold on to that thought. Hold on to that thought.
Okay. We'll move on because there was another call for a penalty as well. This was Erling Haaland once again. He was held for a long time by Jair Cunha, but not enough in this to be given, Dermot?
I think they're both holding. If you look, Haaland grabs him as well, but not a foul from it there. Haaland's got him there.
Yeah.
Throws himself away.
Yeah, I agree with this one. I think the thing that I look at in this one as well is when you look at Cunha, he's actually got his eyes on the ball. So they're both holding each other. They're both trying to get away. They're both trying to get that little advantage. But Cunha the whole time is looking at the ball, which is why I say you can't give penalties for that.
And just one more from this game as well. Sales felt that he was fouled in the build-up to Rodri scoring his header from a corner. He thinks he was fouled by Haaland there. Anything in this one for either of you guys?
It's a 50-50 that went in City's favour for Bernardo Silva, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a foul.
I mean,
Forest do.
I look at that and I say, Haaland's standing there, he's putting him off to begin with, but once the ball's coming in, it sells. There's actually initiated contact with Haaland. He's pushed him away.
And with his own player.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, that's why he hasn't been able to come to the ball, because he's thought about, Haaland's done his job actually. He just put him off. So I don't think that's a foul.
But that is the crucial thing now, Michael. We were saying at the top start that it was in both teams' hands. Now it isn't.
Yeah.
Now it isn't in City's hands.
Big night. We knew it was a big night coming into tonight. Top two both playing at the same time. Both with games that you would have expected them to win. But I said at the start, I think they will both win, but none of them are gimmies. And, you know, Forest have got so much to play for themselves. They're fighting for their lives, especially with West Ham doing so well and teams around them picking up points. They had to try to get something today. And as I said, Forest have got a good squad. You know, that squad can't be taken lightly. So it was a big night, could be a pivotal night in the title race, but there are still plenty of games to go. Manchester City simply can't slip up again, though. They can't go further away. They've got to put the pressure on Arsenal from now on in.
What's it like when you come off the pitch and you've done your job, and then someone says to you, "Oh, they've drawn or they've lost? I mean, how?
It's a massive bonus. It really is a massive bonus. You know, you're walking off. All you're interested in is your result. But when you hear your local rivals and the team you're going to be going all the way with you have dropped points, it's a massive, massive boost. It really is for the players. So they'll be absolutely delighted with the result themselves, but they'll also be delighted with what happened at the Etihad. And obviously, as Michael says, there's lots and lots of football still to be played, but you want them the little bonuses along the way. And now it is in Arsenal's hands, so it's all down. And I'm sure the fans enjoy their journey on the way home, the Arsenal fans. As you can see, they're celebrating the win, but they're also celebrating the 2 points drop for Man City.
I think if you had asked Arsenal before the night, if they had just sustained and kept their difference, they would have been happy. On paper, I think that they probably had the harder game. They're playing against someone higher in the league. They're away from home. Manchester City obviously playing at home against a team fourth from bottom. So I think if you'd said to Arsenal, you're both going to draw or you're both going to win, they would have snapped your hand off. To gain 2 points on a night like tonight, double bonus for them.
Yeah, and reminder what is left for these two teams. It isn't in City's hands now, and City have just played, actually, Forest, of course, battling for their lives. Their next Premier League game is away at West Ham. Before that, they got the FA Cup at Newcastle and an away trip to Real Madrid as well. Mansfield and Leverkusen for Arsenal before they play Everton. And then, of course, that big game at Wembley between the two, and then the meeting at the Etihad in match week 30.
Some huge games there, Steve, but if you just take the Premier League games in isolation, you've got Manchester City going away at West Ham and Arsenal playing at home to Everton, and then you've got Manchester City going away to Chelsea while Arsenal are at home to Bournemouth, and then they play each other, and it's at, obviously,
the Etihad.
At the Etihad. But those two games, I would almost say that Arsenal have got the easier two games. West Ham away and Chelsea away for Manchester City. They're two difficult games. So, again, from City's point of view, they need to just keep tabs now. They need to keep matching them and then hope that when they play each other, that they win.
You're making Ray very excited with that analysis there.
No, I certainly believe that Arsenal got the better running. Last year, they probably had the harder running, but this year, certainly there's games there, especially home games. You know, the crowd will be really up for it now because they know they've got that gap. And as Michael says, West Ham are fighting for their lives. Chelsea, we saw their result tonight, a really good performance. So as an easy game at Stamford Bridge. So Arsenal certainly in pole position, as they say.
OK.